Stays crunchy. Stays crunchy. Milk.
Oftentimes I'll be in this motherfucker like wondering what the hell we gonna talk about at the beginning of this shit. But me and Box are just rapping about blood pressure, and I was like, let's just talk about that. We grown, and that's grown folk business to share with you, the listener. And so, Box and I both are on blood pressure meds, and I have been on for a very long while. And my doctor finally feels he got me dialed in at one of our most recent visits, and that is a combination of. Reaching over in the drawer to pull out my meds here. Carvedilol, which I take twice a day, and losartan, which I take once a day. And that combination of meds, 25 milligrams of carvedilol, like I said, twice a day, so 50 milligrams of that, and 50 milligrams of losartan, which is a combination blood pressure and water pill situation. Is what has my blood pressure usually well within normal when I go see the doc at this point. Now, Box is what, as you recall last time we talked, I believe we talked about that on air, that Box is going to the doc, and I was like, make sure you talk to the man. And Box talked to the man, so that's dope. But him and his doctor decided, well, more the doctor, I don't know you really had any say over the matter, but you know, he was there.
Yeah. I didn't fight it, but I also didn't really have a say in the matter.
Yeah. He decided he's going to do some tweaks to Box's medicine, and we were just talking about it. And you were saying how on your first day, the first day on the new dose, or just
it was like I took it like because I take it before I go to bed at night,
and
the next day it was like I felt healthy, and I know that's like I'm taking blood pressure meds, so I'm not technically healthy.
Yeah,
but it was weird. It was like my whole body felt like unencumbered. Like I felt like I was just existing like without any stress. Like I felt calm, and I was like, "Damn, is this just like what it's supposed to feel like to live?" And I just don't feel like this. So it's like normal to me. It's just fucking tension all the time.
Ooh, I hadn't even considered that. That's wild. Non-tense. Not that I'm saying you're tense, but you're saying you're tense, so I can say that. Well, I'm saying a non-tense box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just like, you know, like if your body is just always constantly in struggle, that's just normal to you because you know all you know is struggle, so you don't know what it's like to not be in struggle. Yeah. It's like what's the line? Like you don't know peace until you've experienced pain.
Yeah.
And so it's just like if you don't go through it, how the fuck do you know what the other side feels like? And so like, you know, granted, like we're in that sickness time of the year where like I wake up any moment and my fucking sinuses are swollen 3 sizes, so it's like who's to say? But like, you know, for those first couple of days with the up dosages, I was just walking around and I felt fucking free. I felt like I felt like that dude with the world on his back, and then someone just kind of like took it off me, and I was just kind of like, okay, this is I'm normal right now. Like I can get used to this.
I certainly can bang with that. I like that is the feeling that one has had. Does it seem like it's carried forth? You know,
I haven't felt exactly like that, but it could be at this point where I'm just like that's kind of like the new normal, and so you
have a new normal, so that it won't feel like that. But it doesn't. I guess does it not feel the other way? Does it not feel? Do you feel tense at all? Do you feel like, you know?
No, I mean, I've been sleepy lately, but that's because, you know, I had a 4-day weekend last weekend and I stayed up too late every day. And, you know, I haven't been good about getting to bed on time. So my sleep schedule's shit right now. I'm self-sabotaging in that way. But otherwise, no. I'm like, you know, I got a lot of work going on, but like, you know, that's just, I can't help that.
Exact same in all those ideals. In that last night I finally was like, hey, let's go to bed at a good hour. Let's try that, as opposed to falling asleep on the couch and waking up at like 3 a.m, or waking up actually like at 2 in the morning and then not going to bed till 3. And it's like I was like, no, just fuck it, go to bed and see what you do. And you know what I did? I tossed and turned for like a good hour and a half, was
That's
terrible.
it's the same thing that happens to me. It's like I'm tired all day, and I'm like, oh man, I should really try and go to bed early tonight. And then I go in there, I turn the TV off, I lay down, and then my brain just doesn't shut off, and I lay there wide fucking awake until like 1 o'clock in the morning. So like nothing gets accomplished.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I guess maybe at least the body's getting a little bit of rest. The mind is simply not resting at that point, and maybe that's helpful in some ways. And I got to get it dialed in, and just because I know it's good for me and it makes good sense to but also the body's gonna take what it needs. You know what I'm saying? And so if I were truly tired, I would have probably just passed my ass out, and I got there eventually. You know, so. Also, it's been like wildly cold and shit. You know what I'm saying? You look at my eyes right now. My eyes look wild. Like I could get some rest. And so after I finish this, I'll take trash to the curb, and then I will definitely go hit the rack. So it is all good in that regard. But I'm glad your health journey continues unabated. You are getting there, and I of course respect that. I hadn't weighed myself in a while. I should probably do that. But see what's going on with that in regards to and we just out here, people just trying to do a little bit better, day by day, bit by bit, because that's all that it is. You might hear one of Box's cats in the background as they are at their loudmouth time of the month.
Yeah, their medical appointments are the end of April, so I've got
those scheduled, buddy.
Oh yeah. I apparently if you have a boy cat, you can get him his stuff clipped like almost immediately. But if you got a girl cat, man, they fill up quick. Like the earliest appointment I could get was April 28th.
Yeah, it's considerably more invasive a surgery for them. I mean, literally, it's just like no one clip them balls off and keep it moving for the gentlemen, and for the ladies, they got to get in there and do some hardware removal. So. Yeah.
I'm dreading the day in a way. Like I know it in the long run it'll be better for them because then they won't have to go through this every month. Yeah. But they're gonna fucking hate me for throwing them in cages and driving them all the way on the other side of Cleveland and then leaving them because I have to leave them for like the afternoon. So like, it's going to be a rough couple weeks in my household come beginning of May because I'm going to be getting fucking shunned by these animals.
And they already be treating you kind of shitty. They have to get right. They owe
the Tortie, she loves me. Like, okay. Like she comes down here, she plays with me, she likes attention. But now like it's funny because now that the black one's in heat,
yeah,
she's like it's weird. Like it's like she's acting like she likes me now. Where like she came up on my desk this morning, was sitting on my lap. She was like rubbing on my shoe. But I like right before I came down here on the podcast, I was in my bedroom putting something away, and she came and hopped on my bed and was talking to me and petted. It's like her being in heat has made her like affectionate, which I don't normally get. Whereas like the Tortie being in heat, it just kind of cranks up what she already kind of like gives me.
Yeah,
they don't like being picked up yet. Like I'm gonna. Then we may never get there.
Yeah,
but like the Tortie will come to me. Like the Tortie, when I wake up in the morning, come on my room. I wish that like I could keep the door open and let them come and go as they please. But with the other people in my house, I just can't fucking do it because I never get to sleep. The one guy gets up all fucking hours of the night to go to the bathroom constantly. The other guy like gets up for work like sometime between 5 and 7, depending when he has to be there. And so it's like shower runs, and then there's boots clomping through the hallway, and the cats are young right now, so it's like they're playing at night. Like if I were to leave my door open to let them come and go, I would never fucking sleep.
Yeah, and that would stink. So I'm with you on that. You know what's good for you in that regard. So, old pee pants. It's so funny. Grown ass man can't just well, I mean his body's at this point busted. That's just the level he pees at. So it's like, sir, you can fix that, right? Just don't do that. So you got to sit there and really focus and not go. But that's
holy shit.
What happened?
Giannis just airballed a free throw.
you go. Okay.
Sorry, I know that was on a tangent. I was like, wow, I was dumbfounded. If anything, he barely nicked the rim, but like he threw the ball, the net moved, and then everyone just kind of stood there. And then the Miami Heat player grabbed it. It was like, all right, I guess we're just playing.
Everybody's shocked by this occurrence. Like, what? Oh my God, that's what it is to be an NBA basketball player of a certain caliber. Like, bro, that's not even supposed to happen, man. What's going on here? That doesn't seem this. Unless some things have changed recently, they were very much underperforming this season. I have not been keeping up with them. Have they gotten better?
They were on a run there for a minute. They were dealing with injuries to key people at different times.
Yeah.
So like they didn't really have a consistent lineup. Well, I haven't looked at the standings in a minute, but last I saw, they were kind of like floating around like 500.
Yeah, 585, 24-17. They are number 4 if you do the conference situation. And if you do divisional, because they are in our division, they are number 2 in the division, 11 games back of us. So
man, Cavs last night.
Now, look, bro, they were down too much of that game to even make it that close, and the fact they lost by a point.
It wasn't the fact that they lost. Like I could deal with that. It was how they lost. Man, our fucking 90% free throw shooter missed 5 free throws yesterday. Like you go to the line with 3, there's no one even on the line. You get 3 shots and the ball, and you only get 1. Come on, man.
That's crazy. That is wild. Jeez Louise, that's crazy.
I saw a bunch of tweets, if that's what we still call them. I don't even know like what the fuck we call them, X posts. But there were a lot of people throwing out dogs pissing on the floor memes or videos and tagging Darius Garland.
Hey, again, Giannis just missed one of the line right now. So I mean, it happens. You know what I'm saying? People miss, and then you're shocked that they miss because it's shocking that.
There's a difference though between missing like in the second quarter and missing 2 out of 3 free throws with the game on the line in the last 3 seconds. There's a difference.
It's very Cleveland. It just is. You know what I'm saying? You know how this town is with sports shit. We'll do some shit that's just a route like this is crazy. This never happens.
But the part of it is because it's like it's not just the fact that they're free throws.
Yeah.
They're pressure moment free throws. Like, and I'm not saying that Darius Garland, has to be all world and hit and come through every single time and that like he's experienced before or whatever. Like I know it's just a regular season game.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where there's been times where games were important and he disappears in those situations. Like, he's a young player. I get all that. Like, man, I fucking sound like Stephen A. Smith right now, and I don't like it. We get all that.
Yeah, But it's the pressure situations, and that's what makes diamonds, y'all. I get it, man.
I know. But it's just like it starts to be like you start to wonder, like it's the same thing I thought why I turned on Baker Mayfield. Like my opinion changed on him. I used to think Baker Mayfield was good enough to lead the Browns to a Super Bowl. That was why I wanted to draft him.
Yeah.
And then over the years of watching the dude, I realized at least my opinion of him changed from a guy who can get it done to a guy who will always kind of get you close enough, but then fumble it away at the last second in some sort of spectacular fashion, whether it be the worst interception you've ever seen or an untimely fumble. It'll always be like so close yet so far. Yeah. Whereas like Patrick Mahomes, although the refs help him a lot, always fucking manages to find a way. Like Patrick Mahomes' stats, when you look at them, actually fucking suck. Like his yardage, like since he's no longer throwing 60-yard bombs to Tyreek Hill, his passing yardage, like my buddy rants about this all the time, but like he never hits his fucking over/under in sports betting. Like his when you like fantasy football, he's a mid-tier quarterback, but his fucking team wins so goddamn much that like everyone thinks that like he's just out there fucking willing them to victory. When you actually like take a step back and look, they fucking run the ball insanely well with multiple running backs They have like the best defense in the league, and he just fucking manages to sling 160 yards to like a couple guys and then get like 3 roughing the passer penalties a game and they win. Like, yeah, like years ago he was fucking yucking bombs to Tyreek Hill with his 4.3 speed, but like he hasn't had that in a couple of years now, and his stats have come down from it, but they still win. So everyone's just like, oh, well, you know, he's the GOAT. Like, yeah, he's really fucking good, and he would be good anywhere. But like to make it seem like he's out there just like passing for 400 yards a game with 5 touchdowns, like he's not.
It's been very interesting to watch this nation turn on the Chiefs. And because they have just been like, I hate these motherfuckers. I never want them to win again. I'm just like, wow, this was not this a couple of years ago. That's wild. And
I think it's because part of it, like, yeah, winners, you know, you live long enough to see your heroes become the villain, that kind of Batman thing. Like, that does happen.
Yeah.
But I think people are sick of, like, him getting tapped to the ground and then the Chiefs getting gifted first downs. Like, and it happens all the time where, like, they always seem to be the beneficiary of the lopsided ref call that decides a game somehow. And people are starting to get fucking sick of it.
Somebody ran the numbers the other day, and it turns out the calls are relatively even, but it does seem to come in do or die moments. You know what I'm saying? So it might be even, but they not even because they come at points when it's like, bruh, that's some shit on the line there. Don't
like in that game last weekend. There was like the one hit that he got a roughing the passer call on. Where he like the defender kind of like hit him in the shoulder when he was throwing the ball, and they said he hit him in the head and gave him 15 yards and an automatic first down. Then there was another play where like he's not running down the field, he's just tiptoeing behind his blocker, not really going anywhere.
Yeah.
So he's not actively running per se.
Yeah.
And then like there are 2 defenders coming to tackle him. So, like, rather than, like, slide, like he's, like, in a running slide, he just kind of falls down. But, like, if you're 2 fucking, like, 280-pound men and you're already committed to jumping to tackle the motherfucker,
you can't stop on him.
You can't stop.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, they just let him, like, sashay his way to the ground at a moment's notice, that's bullshit. Then there was a play, like, later in the game where he was running towards the sidelines, and he tried to draw a fucking penalty because he slowed up, and then he flopped out of bounds.
I saw that. Everybody and their mama tried to be, look at this bullshit. I'm like, hey, man, if you can get the call on the flop in the NFL, the NBA, wherever, get the call. That's veteran fucking crafty ass play. And he didn't get the call, so who fucking cares? But if he would have got the call, I wouldn't have been mad. Would not have been mad.
And then on top of that, it's like you always see him anytime he gets touched. Yeah. He's fucking turning to the ref and he's bitching.
Yeah,
he's bitch.
Now,
just fucking play, man.
Again, funny. Josh Allen the same fucking way, but nobody talk about Josh Allen. We love Jesus. It's like y'all got to chill, man. I hope that motherfucker lose this week. I do not fuck with the Bills, bro. Not at all. God damn.
I want a Bills Commanders Super Bowl.
No. Well, that's because of course the Eagles is my squad. You know that, my NFC squad. So of course I'm Eagles all the way with that shit. But if Jaden Daniels managed to get the Commanders into the Super Bowl in his rookie year, fuck yeah. Because he be playing video games, not video games. He practices in VR, and I'm like, that's crazy. That learning his reps like he has with it under, you know what I'm saying, a VR headset has gotten him. Not the only thing, but it's one of the things that has made him like that kid gonna be the truth. And I don't even bang with the Commanders like that. So
they interviewed the Browns' new offensive coordinator today.
Yeah,
and the press actually asked him about if he would incorporate VR technology into training the players.
Yeah.
And he said that they already have access to it at the facility if they want to use it.
See that? If they want to use it, bullshit. Sometimes you got a daddy, a motherfucker. Use it. Learn these reps. Do this shit. They said this boy gets up like 6 in the morning and is doing this shit like 200, 300 times a day.
I have to wonder, though, how many people who are coaches are actually versed in it themselves.
There you go. Maybe that's some shit. Maybe that's something. Like I said, when you got an example like I said, Jane Daniels over here doing this, then bruh, it might be working Okay, and he started doing it in college. So he started doing, and he's a Heisman Trophy winner at that. So I mean, come on, bro. Maybe this is saying maybe he's got something going, and maybe y'all should be talking about doing it more often, because repetition, of course, is going to get you better. It's going to teach you what you need to do. You can throw all kinds of schemes at him. He can be like, "Ooh, I kind of know what I need to do in this situation." I just think it's smart.
Did you see the news about the Philly fan that got fired from his job the other day?
What did he do?
So there was 2 Green Bay Packer fans. This happened during the Packers-Eagles game.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like 2 Packer fans. I don't know the people's names or anything like that.
Yeah.
But from what I was told, apparently like the one guy's like an influencer of sorts. Like, I don't know, I'm probably low tier influencer or whatever.
Yeah.
But supposedly they got the tickets through a GoFundMe thing. And so they went to the game and they were like, documenting their experience there and everything. And the guy, I guess, on social media said that like he'd been to Philly before, so he was willing to go into the belly of the beast again. Some of my friends take this as him saying that he was going to intentionally go there to like cause trouble or whatever. But like, I don't look at it like that. I think like that, like Philly is well known for having very rowdy, like borderline violent fans at football games. And so, like, going into, like, saying you're going into the belly, you're willing to go back into the belly of the beast just means I kind of know what I'm getting into, but I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
That's how I took it. But anyway, so he posted a video on Elon Musk's platform that
the Nazi place. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever people call it now. That showed this guy who was, like, sitting, like, I think it was like a row back and a couple seats over.
Yeah.
And he kept yelling at the dude's fiance, calling her an ugly "see you next Tuesday."
Wow.
So like the dude posted this clip on X and was like, "Hey, does anyone know who the fuck this is?" Basically, he was actively trying to dox him.
Yeah, for sure.
And so within the afternoon of this getting posted, people found out his name and where he worked. And turns out he was a consultant at a DEI firm out of like New Jersey.
That'll do it. I was like, dude, like, what does he do that he gets fired for? Like, if that's a mechanic, who cares?
Yeah. So like the company had to put out a statement once people realized who he was. And they're like, we're reviewing the matter, yada, yada, yada. And then like a day or two later, they basically had to put out another press release. It was like, look, we let him go. We hope that like, he learns from this. And they basically were like kind of being like, we don't want people to judge someone off their worst day kind of like statement. Like, basically like we had to let him go, but like we hope all the best for him. And we hope that people kind of like let it go in a way. But yeah, and so that turned into debates amongst my friend group of like, did he deserve to get fired? And like, did the company do the right thing, or were like they fucking around, like fucking up because it's his personal time and this, that, and the other? And like, it was kind of like I would say it was like 60-40 in the camp of fuck around and find out of like, like you have the right to say what you want, but consequences do come
for sure.
So it's like, you're just like, and it's also like, how good of a consultant are you if you work at a DEI firm and you're at football games calling women "see you next Tuesdays"?
Fair, across the board, fair, not wrong. I don't necessarily condone my man's getting fired, but you put your company, the company you work for, in a real foul situation, bruh. So,
yeah, like particularly in that now seemingly dying industry, like, how do people take your company seriously if they know you're employing a guy who's famous on the internet for berating a woman at a football game unprovoked, allegedly unprovoked? Granted, we only saw the one clip of video. We don't know what happened before or after.
Yeah,
but the clip that we saw, she was sitting there, chill. And he was being very disruptive to their experience.
And like I look, I get it. Sports fans, I guess we're meant to be assholes, but I don't really think I don't know if I would even move that way. So it's like, bruh, if they ain't bothering you at all, they're just sitting there rooting for their team. Chill, baby. I feel like some people in Philly probably are like, we have a reputation to uphold, so I am going to turn the asshole up. It's like, you don't got to do that, man. You can just, enjoy the football game you're attending. It's a playoff football game, you know what I'm saying? Rare thing in this sport. Have a good time. But especially was that the snowy ass game? No, the snowy ass was this past weekend. So it was the weekend before that, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah, so whew, good Lord, y'all. Let me spit some flows, get you a proper show started. Though we're like 25 minutes in, but it's the best part about doing this show, y'all. It's like this. Oddly enough, I picked Philly lyrics this week for a couple of reasons, but here we'll go. So that's funny that we all worked out like that. Well, I'm a fly Philly nigga. Finger on the trigger, MCs repent from sins. God coming again, original. What visionary individual, original? What visionary individual? I proceed. As I give you what you need, like I'm a medical doctor, watch the damage I inflict properly. Ain't nobody rising on top of me. I be dropping more plot in my mic, monopoly. Got to be reality, Stevie Wonder, see Black Thought be me. I grew, baby. Or like Luther say, baby, would you get with this? Not even maybe. It's the Mr. Gravy and shit. To explain what's going on inside my brain is scandalous. No analyst can maintain or handle this mind train. Yo, I'm on some old snapper rapper next shit. You know what I'm saying? So niggas best get out my path, kid. I'm on point like a gap, the basket case. I waste MCs with rapture taste facing these leads to cats diminish. They be pulling the mic out that ass when I get finished. Administrative assistant ain't no. Yo, I'm not. Yo, I'm the principal. Niggas take a shot like I'm invincible. Figure me to be hardcore. My input cuts your jaw. For real, for sure. Do you want more? Welcome to it. It's episode 562, and bitch, you thirsty? Please grab a Sprite. I'm your host, Internet's Taylor 713. Joined as always by my best friend, Lunchbox 209. Excuse me, the eBay Emperor Lunchbox 2099.
I actually dropped off an eBay package this afternoon. Well, I'm sorry, this evening.
As it were. Was it actually the afternoon and just dark outside?
No, it was evening because I dropped it off before I stopped at my dad's house, and that was around 6, so it was definitely evening.
Very good, very good. You know what it is? Well, or maybe you don't. This could be your first time doing it. Well, how this functions is, saying we are Cleveland's longest running podcast, which means we do a couple of news stories. Most of them, one or two of them will be about Ohio. If I do a couple of them, one of them will definitely be about Ohio, but in this case, both of these are going to be Ohio based. Then we'll have our little sections of the show. Box has a whole section called Storytime and Lunchbox. When Ant's here, he has a story. He has a section that is first up, as always, is Tatum. That's the name of his section. And no matter what happens, if he even did it like third, the segment is still called First Up, as always, is Tatum. And then I got a segment that's called Tea Time. And those segments exist, but aren't always here. Some weeks we just ain't got it in us, so we don't. So that's just how it works. And then we go to Reddit. We do some Amateur Assholes. We was doing that shit before with Sweet. And then we talk about entertainment. And then we'll slide on out of here. It's great. It's a real. It's got a real give and ebb and flow to it. I think you'll dig it if this is your first time here. And if it's not the first time here, thanks for coming back. Let's get to it. Again, I got two stories this week. Let me get them up on the screen here. There's this one. Why did Cleveland and the Browns file separate lawsuits in different courts? Ask yourself that. This is Adam Faircy over at Cleveland.com. Cleveland, Ohio. Judges overseeing dueling lawsuits in courthouses blocks away from the Huntington Bank Field could determine whether the Cleveland Browns remain in their downtown stadium or head southwest to Brook Park. Though the lawsuit in federal and Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court may appear to be redundant, legal experts who spoke to Cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer said the decision by the Browns and city to file separate lawsuits comes down to a fight for home field advantage. How the case proceeds remains unclear, but early victories over which lawsuit moves forward first could give one side the upper hand in the legal fight over where the Browns will play their home games after the 2028 season. That can be a really valuable thing, Case Western Reserve University law professor Eric Chaffee said. This is clearly a contentious dispute, and both parties will likely disagree on a wide range of things. What that means is there's probably going to be a battle back and forth for a while as to which exact venue should hear the case. Both lawsuits are filed over the state law known as the Modell Law, named after the former Browns owner who moved the team to Baltimore in 1995. The law lays out certain steps a professional sports team must take if it intends to move from a city that uses taxpayer money to support them. The law lays that if the team wants to move, it must notify the city of its intent and give the city a 6-month window to offer the team up for sale to the city's residents. The Browns filed their lawsuit in U.S. District Court in September, asking a federal judge to strike down the law as unconstitutionally vague and therefore unenforceable. The city last week filed its own lawsuit against the Browns in common pleas court. It asked the judge to enforce the law and force the Browns to start its window of offering the team up for sale. The law does not require them to actually sell it. What's the fucking point of the law then, people? Why 2 lawsuits in different courts? University of Toledo law professor Jeffrey Rapp said it's not unusual for a complex case to take place simultaneously in different courts. The reason we can end up in 2 courts is that they both primarily raising different arguments, he said. Rapp, an associate dean who teaches sports law, said the city likely believes it holds an advantage in common pleas court where judges are elected. He said in other cases, cities have fared better in state courts in battles over publicly financed stadiums. Typically, what you see is that the city is trying to keep a professional team would prefer to have the issue heard in a state court where the city might have a more sympathetic judge and where, if there's an appeal, the matter goes up through state court system, Rapp said. Likewise, the Browns believe they have a better chance in the federal court systems. It's often viewed that you're going to get fairer, less politically sensitive opinions from federal judges, Chaffee said. The reason is they're not elected. How could the case proceed? The expert said the case could proceed simultaneously, or one judge could put a pause on his or her case while the other litigation plays out. Normally, that wouldn't go. They wouldn't go on both tracks, said Gary Spring, a University of Akron School of Law visiting practitioner. One of the courts is going to have to give way. If the cases go forward at the same time, rulings in each case would affect the other. For example, if the Browns win the federal case first, the law would be invalid, and the common pleas case would become irrelevant. If the city wins its case first, that would show the law is enforceable and could lead to the federal case being tossed out. The cases are separate, but they do interact in a variety of ways, Chaffee said. It will depend on how quickly the courts will act. Here we go. I was about to stop. I'm like, this is the last section. We can wrap it up. A limited time frame. Aside from the legal arguments, delays in each case will give a strong advantage to the city, the expert said. The Browns need a place to play home games in 2029. Building a new stadium takes considerable time. Even if the city loses early procedural court decisions, it benefits from lengthy delays, and that includes any appeals of decisions, which could add months or even years to a resolution. For the city of Cleveland, the longer that it drags this out, the more likely it is that the Browns and owners Jimmy and Dee Haslam are going to be forced into some sort of agreement to allow the Browns to remain in Cleveland. Chaffee said, the Haslams and the Browns are very much would like to put this behind them. Chaffee said the lawsuits may never end up being fully hashed out in court. He said part of Cleveland's strategy is filing the lawsuit could be to gain leverage to bring the Browns back into negotiations out of court. The Browns had sought a 50-50 split with the city for a $1 billion renovation for the current stadium, or $2 billion to build a new one. The lawsuits were filed after those talks broke down. This type of litigation is not uncommon in the negotiations to gain leverage, Chaffee said, and it's clear there has been a lot of posturing between the two parties. If delays in the case or appeals drag on, that can put pressure on both sides to find a way to settle out of court, the experts said. The big business of where the NFL teams play can really function with open questions like this can't really function with open questions like this lingering for years, Rapp said. So maybe the parties are back at the bargaining table at some point to work out the money disputes that caused this relationship to sour. Man, fascinating how this is playing out, but also we had just talked about this a couple weeks back. We knew what it was, and
yeah, everything that's happening is basically what I thought would happen.
Yeah, it's it's lawsuits, it's back and forth, it's batting it back and forth. To to call a law that's been in the books for nearly 30 years suddenly to be like, that's unconstitutional. That seems odd. But it's probably something they were like, we never thought this law would come up that we'd have to be worried about it. So we'll see how that plays out. And I didn't realize that was a state law. For some reason, I thought that was just a city law. But the great state of Ohio passed that law, so that's interesting. Who's the mayor? Who's the governor at that point? The governor, I think, was probably Voinovich at that point, who used to be the mayor of Cleveland. So it probably is a lot of things that was happening going on back in the day with that. So we'll see how this all plays out. But there you go, people. The Browns still a terrible football team, but they got a new offensive coordinator, and we got what's our draft situation looking like?
We have the number 2 pick in the draft.
Very good. Are we going to keep that, or are we going to trade up or down or some shit for that?
All options are probably on the table.
If you were GM of this organization and picking, what would you do?
I would probably trade it depending on what I was offered.
Fair enough. Anybody in this class of athletes that you're like, I'd like to have that guy here in Cleveland?
Abdul Carter, defensive end, Penn State.
All righty. Exactly how he's going to present himself when he plays a national game somewhere. Abdul Carter. Defensive end, Penn State. Go Nittany Lions. Is that Penn State? Are they the Nittany Lions?
They are.
Yeah, look at that. Your boy. Next one. This is from Sing. Cleveland well represented in the 2025 James Beard Awards list of semifinalists. Again, this is from our alternative weekly scene. Douglas Tretner is on the byline. They have a little under whatever it says. Duck Cats, Jeremy Umansky, Alexandra Lavelle, and Vinny Semino all landed nods. This morning, the James Beard Foundation announced its list of semifinalists for the 2005 Restaurant and Chef Awards, the so-called long list, which includes both national and regional categories, both of which include Cleveland chefs. In the Outstanding Restaurateur category, a nationwide grouping, Douglas Katz of Edgewater Hospitality, Amba Zoom Killen has been selected as a semifinalist. Katz was previously nominated in the Best Chef Great Lakes category. Reached for comment in India. I didn't realize he was in India. Okay, Katz said, I'm so lucky to have had a career in the field that I love and to have worked in since I was a teenager. To be recognized is so special, but to enjoy my work and to get to work in a community like Cleveland is the truest joy. My team makes me look good every day, and it's really them and all their hard work that made this possible. In the Outstanding Pastry Chef or Baker category, another national grouping, Alexandra Lavelle of Larder has been selected as a semifinalist. She also was previously nominated in the Best Chef Great Lakes category. And in the Best Chef Great Lake category, which includes Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio, both Vinny Semino and Cordelia of Cordelia, which is a restaurant, I assume, and Jeremy Umansky of Larder made the list. Semino is in response to learning the news said, so excited to be nominated this year and to have so much Cleveland representation. So grateful for my Cordelia team and stoked for Doug, Jeremy, and Allie. Big Cleveland year, let's go. Also understandably elated, Umansky responded with, we're in shock. Just look at what Cleveland is showing the nation when it comes to deliciousness. We're beyond grateful to be recognized by our peers, community, forgive me. We worked hard every day to be our personal best, and this type of validation is just overwhelming. The list of finalists will be announced on April 2nd, and the winners will be announced at the James Beard Restaurant and Chef Award ceremony on June 16th at the Lyric Opera of Chicago. Again, you know how it gets down. I love this city, but what I also love is this city's food scene. We got great food all around this town. I am always proud to tell people, hey, yo, you come here, you can eat good. And from anywhere from, just a lowly Polish boy to, like I said, fine dining establishments like these that are being represented here in James Beard Awards long list semifinalists. So good shit. Congratulations to all these restaurateurs and chefs. May some of you or a lot of you come out on top or at least make it to the, to the finals. And we respect that. Good to see some Cleveland teams in the playoffs in some shape, or form. that is what's up with that, y'all. That's your news for the week, and so I will hand the reins of this program over to the other host of it, and that is Box. But of course, that means I need to do this first, and that is.
I hope it's like the Wonder Years where like you got me like playing in the front yard by a white picket fence, and then like me looking lovingly into like my crush's eyes as I kiss for the first time, and then all of a sudden I'm getting on a boat to war. And then,
I thought it would involve books in some way, story time, but damn.
Yeah, I mean, I guess reading Rainbow works too.
Every single time, it just amuses me. So that's just what it is.
I always forget that your laugh is actually in the audio clip and not just you right now laughing.
Yeah, that's all baked in. I'm amused then. I'm amused now. It just works, man. It was a good discussion, and I think it worked. It works well for that little video situation. I made another little video package at some point you'll get to see here in this episode. So I like making the videos, y'all. I've been having a real fun time with them, and also I feel like it adds to those who watch the show. They get a little something extra. So there you go. You get to hear that, of course, if you listen to the audio variation. But just saying, if you're watching, you get a fun little video clip that I think is real fun. So that's what's up. Boxy, hand it over to you, sir. Storytime with Lunchbox. What's the good word?
I mean, not a whole lot beyond what we've already discussed. It's been, pretty chill. I would say, though, as an update to a previous discussion, I've been thinking about the trip for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I've definitely mentally vetoed Nashville. And I have also verbally vetoed Nashville. And the current leader in the clubhouse is Chicago.
Regular vibe. So that's cool.
I enjoy Chicago.
Yes.
The Browns are supposed to play the Bears in Chicago this year. I won't know when until the schedule comes out in May.
Okay.
So I don't know if that'll necessarily sway when I go per se. If this is what I ultimately land on, but this is definitely the leader in the clubhouse now. There's also talk of like going to like a White Sox game if they're in town. So that is something I have to look at, like MLB schedule. There's a lot of moving parts right now.
Why are the White Sox, not the Cubs? Just want to know.
That was just what was said. It could be both. It could be neither. I don't know. I've been to a couple of Cubs games, never been to the White Sox.
Fair enough. There you go. You want to go to where do they play at?
Some field.
Some mortgage field.
Yeah, I think I used to know it, but now I think it changed names in the last couple of years. So I'm not.
It used to be Comiskey, but it hadn't been Comiskey in forever. White Sox field. Let's get a quick little peek. They play at Rate Field, and that rate used to be Guaranteed Rate, but now it's just Guaranteed Rate changed their name to Rate. So Rate Field is a baseball stadium located on the south side of Chicago. So that's where they play it. They play at Rate Field. So.
Well. The part of the reason why I started thinking Chicago was, one, I missed that Korean fried chicken in Chinatown.
God, it's so good.
And then the other thing is, I really want to go to that McDonald's that has the international food items.
Yes.
And so when I saw one of those Instagram videos the other day where someone was there, trying the different shit, and I was like, even though I'm trying to be healthy, I want that in my life at least one time where I can go there and try like the burger that they have in Switzerland, or fucking pistachio pie or some shit. It's just there's so many things in Chicago that I like that like I feel like I can make a pretty decent birthday trip out of that.
I don't even eat mammals, but I would take a bite out of a Panday beef. whatever the burger of the day is at that situation, just to say I tried it. I'm with you on that. You go to Chicago, and if I can just jump in on your trip, I'll probably join you on that mission, just because I that's one I can easily slide in on and kick it with you on. So I'm with that. I'm all the way up for that one. So, and in fact, Yes, I'll I'll let the missus know, and we'll begin that situation, getting that dialed in. I'm with you on that shit. I've been to Chicago now 3, 4, 5 times. I've been to Chicago every time, and every time I go somewhere different. Well, I always end up going to kick it at the Bean, but that's because I like the Bean. Excuse me, the Cloud Gate, as the artist is so fucking butthurt about people calling it the Bean. Shit look like a bean, my nigga. What am I supposed to do? It looked like a bean, and it don't look like a Cloud Gate. But whatever, guy. But yeah, I love that town. It's a good eating town. I've never gone there and felt unsafe. You know, people are, Chicago, so whatever. I'm like,
oh, I've definitely been there and felt unsafe. I won't say that I haven't.
I have not hung in those areas. So
shit, it happened on the freeway one time.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that's that. Yeah, drive through Gary, Indiana, into Chicago. All that shit feels that just feels
like chase on the freeway that drove around us. Like cop sirens, the whole shebang bang.
Yeah.
I stayed at a motel that had a hostage situation the week before. Yeah, that was my first time ever in Chicago.
Don't do that.
I didn't know that when I booked it.
Well, yeah, you book it, then it turns out a hostage situation happens.
I was in my mid-20s, and I didn't make a lot of money back then. You know, not to say that I make a lot of money now, but like I had even less money back then. Fair. So I had to do what I had to do, and like I forced me and 3 friends to share 2 double beds in a shady motel that had a hostage situation.
Man, how did that hostage? Do you know how that hostage situation wrapped?
I don't, but I know I talked about this on one of the early episodes of the show because that was when I did it. Fair. And I like that was the motel where like I booked it for like 2 people, but we had 4 people. And then when I went to check out, the manager of the motel tried to make me pay for 4 people, and I stone cold told him no.
I mean, what was he gonna do?
He's like, well, you had 4 people in the room, and I'm like, all right, well, if you knew that the whole time, why didn't you give us extra towels and amenities? I'm like, you trying to charge me on the back end? I'm like, no, sir. Prove it. That's the only time that I've really ever like stood up for myself in a financial transaction where like I guess theoretically the police could have been called, but I was just like, nah, son, not doing it.
Nah, babe, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Just I'm not saying call Chicago, but I mean, yeah, start dialing in those the places you want to visit and shit. So we can do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm with that. I'm with the shits on that one, my guy. For real. God, I love road trips, y'all. I need y'all to know that. And I mean, I don't know what else you got to say. I'll slide into mine, and mine will still be the same thing. I'm gonna be talking about road trips and goals. So, what else?
I mean, honestly, like that's basically it. Like
because we talked about everything else kind of in the beginning.
Yeah, like my doctor's appointment was like one of the major things of the last like 2 weeks. Other than that, like I played a lot of Call of Duty. I've watched a lot of sports. You know, I've worked. I was just kind of lounging around the house a couple days. Like I haven't like gone anywhere, you know, to talk about in the last like week and a half. That was like special, quote unquote. So yeah, like the blood pressure meds and the birthday thing is pretty much the cream of my crop.
Fair enough. We slide over to a little bit of tea time. I don't have a video intro for my shit yet. Well, imagine if you know what, if you think you have an idea for tea time that you know that's interesting and unique, and not just us lifting tea mugs or something like that. There, holla at your boy. I'll try to whip something up. With stock music.
You got to pay respect to Arizona tea, staying at 99 cents
for sure. But the Nintendo Switch 2, the successor of the Nintendo Switch, which is going to be called the Nintendo Switch 2, has been finally got its announcement last week, and part of their rollout is they're going to have try it hands-on events all around the world, and of course, one of those events is going to take place up in Toronto. You know, I love just any chance I got to drive up north, and so I kind of want to do that. I don't know if I'm going to have the opportunity to do that because I'm saying the tickets really went fast and so forth. But who knows? I might just slide up there and see what I can get done. But so that is already something on my mind and stuff. And that's something me and Vanessa would also were discussing. She was like, maybe for your 50th, because my 50th, I turned 50 this year. We can go and just go kick it up at Crystal Beach. Whereas you realize me and Dan went up there once after Dan first got his blood pressure diagnosis and needed to just get out of town, and we ended up getting jumped by the Canadian Border Patrol because the ideal of us. Hey, it was rainy that day. Who knew? The goal was to go to Crystal Beach. I was going to show Dan my favorite little beach spot up there across the border. And damn it, we were going to do that, rain or shine. And of course, they was like, nah, man, I'm searching your car. I'm like, go for it, buddy. Luckily, my son recently cleaned this motherfucker out, so I knew it was clean. Not clean of like anything that they would have been looking for. I mean, clean in general. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, fine, look at my car. It's clean. Fuck you. But Vanessa's like, yeah, we should go, get a hotel or an Airbnb or up at Crystal Beach and just kick it. And I'm like, that would be a vibe because I actually just love that town and that beach in particular. So that's kind of what we've been chatting about maybe doing. But I love the journeys. But yeah, man, talking about Chicago, man, I'm telling you, man, we can, I don't know. Like I said, Charlie been to Chicago, he bangs with it. I don't think Delvin ever has been to Chicago, and that means maybe I'm saying we can just all take advantage of all this shit and just link up and make it a big. Let's celebrate each other's. Let's just celebrate each other and eat good and have a good time and kick it. So that's what's maybe popping, man, and I'm down for the cause. Ain't really nothing been going on in my life, y'all. It's actually been very quiet, and I find that to be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Quiet and normal and so forth has been very kind of nice to have. Something I found to be fascinating. So my kid has a best friend, and I try to do right by that best friend and treat them well and so forth and so on. And I think they understand that I'm kind of they look at me as sort of a father figure. They don't have a father in their life, honestly. But over the last couple of days, my kid and that kid had beef, not beef, but just people get in arguments. It happens. And that kid is hitting me up like I'm supposed to do something about it. And I'm like, I had to laugh because I'm like, though, yes, I know you look to me as a father figure. I know what my role in your life is. It's always going to be team my kid, no matter what. And I rapped to my kid about the other day, and I go, the reality of it is you could probably do just about anything. And I'm probably still going to be like, yeah, my kid, that's my kid. I was like, you probably pop somebody dead, and I'll be like, what the motherfuckers do to deserve it? So it's kind of what it is to be a parent. I think sometimes it's like I don't feel bad for the other kid. It's okay. It's okay that they have that kind of faith in me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, they know.
This is a good am I the asshole?
I guess, but they know that their friend's father has looked out for them. Like, so I think I told the story on the show where I had to go to their grandma's house to rescue them. Did I tell that story on the show, Box?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So it's like it ain't like I'm not, I'm saying I'm not a trustworthy, parent in that regard. Plus, it's my kid's friend. I'm never gonna leave folk, hanging or on the stroll. But it's just like it's just the goofiest thing, and I'm just like, I don't think they understand that they're not my child in this circumstance, and my child is going to win the day no matter what happens here. And that's what it is to be a dad, y'all. Sometimes you just be out here, dad. My oldest came and saw me just for a hot second today. Literally just came in, parked the car, came and gave me a hug, told me he okay, and kept it moving because I hadn't seen him. I hadn't seen my kid, my oldest since I don't know, maybe at some point last week. And I check in on him because, like I said, we've had this not strange. It's quite normal for this part of the country and time of the year. We've had this winter weather that has been just ridiculous, and I'm just like, man, you all right? It's cold out here. Are you getting around okay? And he's like, yeah. And then my son pays the car insurance. I didn't make my son pay the car insurance. I just told my son ended up having multiple vehicles on the insurance. And I was just like, bruh, you got to handle this because at this point you are costing me a lot of money. And he's like, bet. And so I got the email today that my car insurance had gone up. And I'm like, why is the car insurance up? But it's the re-up time. So it's basically they take a little extra off the top. But then I'm like, I go and I look, it's like 4 cars on my insurance, including mine. I'm like, why is that car? And I asked him that today when he stopped by. I'm like, why is that car that's in the garage that's not running on the insurance? He goes, that garage caught on fire once. Fact. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? You ain't never lied, son. And so I'm like, you know what? You're wise beyond your years, Junior. I gotta keep it motherfucking moving. So I have to laugh that that he handles business, but he does. I'm saying I don't have to ever. I've not had to remind him once. It's just business is paid. I had to explain to him once, like it's okay if you don't pay it immediately. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got the bread this week, wait till next paycheck and pay it then. It's okay. It's not gonna cause any issues. It's not gonna be off its game or anything like that. There's a window of opportunity to make payments on things like this. Don't trip. And he was very happy that one time because he was like, I don't know, he had like worked a less that week or something like that, and was like, hey, I'm kind of low, and I'm like, it's cool, bro. Don't worry about it this thing. Just pay it in a couple of weeks. You'll be fine. So that's been fun to kind of lean back, and it's always interesting to watch your children grow as people and so forth. So that's just what it is, people. I'm a dad, and I'll be dadding, man. Again, mostly just vibes. Did I talk about Vanessa's birthday?
No.
That happened. We celebrated Vanessa's 40th birthday here.
You did talk about there was like conflict. Yeah.
So we did go to the little work event, and I met some of her coworkers. Not a lot of people showed up to the event, but those who did were very nice. They all showed me love. They were happy to have met me. We all hung out. I ate a panini for the first time in God knows how long. Whatever the last time me and Dan went to a panini was the last time I ate a panini. That'll let you know how long that's been. And it's been a while. So, but had a panini. They're still lovely all these years later. Did that. But Vanessa's sisters came through exactly as I need to. I actually want to sit and write them thank you letters. And I want to make sure I get that done sooner than later. But they came through. They decorated. If you can't really see it here, if I tilt the camera up some, you guys who are watching this, you can kind of see some of the decorations are still hanging above me right now. And I'm going to, let's see, which way's my finger at? Right there. See that black lump?
Yeah, it looks like a trash bag.
It's not. It's a tablecloth, and it's full of other birthday decorations that she was like, I want to look at them and see what I want to keep of those things, you know what I'm saying? And so forth. So I bought all the decorations, and her sisters brought more decorations. And they came through and decorated, and I had bought some charcuterie and cheese boards, and so I was like, "Hey, they're in the fridge. Just put them out. Here's where all the decorations and stuff is at. Make sure." So they got everything done, and by the time he came home, it was great. I'm saying, Vanessa had made a specific request about her cakes, and we kept that. And she said, "I want an ice cream cake and I want a giant eagle cake." And I'm like, "Okay, bet." So her sister said, I'll handle the ice cream cake. And I said, then I got the Giant Eagle one. And the bakers at Giant Eagle. So remember, our grocery store chain here is our main grocery store chain here is Giant Eagle. And they're a union shop. So put some respect on their name. So I work with union bakers. And I went and sat and chopped it up with this baker. And she explained what they could do and how they could do it. And I explained what it was for and so forth. She's like, I'm going to put you on. I got you. Don't worry about it. I'll be here in the morning. I can explain to my decorator what you're asking for. So on the song, don't even trip. And I'm like, excellent. And so came through to a and ended up with a very lovely cake. And I might be able to, if I do some, well, here, I'll try to send myself a picture and then show you guys a picture here in a little bit. Give me a second. Let me see if I can make that happen. And it ended up working out very nicely, y'all. And we had a real great time celebrating Ness and mail. We're gonna mail it to my Gmail. I can show you what that cake looks like. Boop. Send. Actual size. There we go. We actually put 40 candles in it because basically this is gonna be like the last one you get to have all your candles. Going forward is just numbers, you know what I'm saying? So we did go ahead and put 40 candles in that bad boy, which is wild, but it was very fun to do, and almost burn yourself trying to do it. Which is like shit. We all like trying to say it. It's just so dumb. It's the perfect amount of dumb, and I really, really enjoyed it. Let me see if I can I want to get this picture up for y'all. As my watch tells me the picture has arrived. Pep. We do a quick little F11. And I'm going to share my screen. So for you, the viewers of this program, you'll get to see a picture of Vanessa's cake. Entire screen. Boom. And of course, it's like, black, because Vanessa's favorite color is black. And if you look down to the bottom left, you can see some of the cheese board and the charcuterie board. And there's a bottle of wine over here because people came through with that stuff. But yeah, happy 40th birthday, Vanessa. The lady was like, I don't know if we can draw it on there, but she ended up doing edible paper. They printed it, and she put that on the front of it. And Vanessa was like, I didn't even know Giant Eagle made tiered cakes and so forth. And she was super excited about it. And I had them put purple and black roses on it. And they did a real good job, y'all. It really would. And of course, I don't know if you enjoy a Giant Eagle cake if you're not from around, if you know what it is. But they make good shit. They make a good buttercream. They make a solid cake. And again, it's a union shop. And they all do good work there, and I respect all the bakers who are in there doing the damn thing. So it was super dope to have had that experience and to celebrate my lady. And then we end up not going to. Remember, I told you we were going to go to a restaurant on her actual birthday. We ended up not doing that. We ended up just kicking it. And what do we end up doing on her actual birthday? We end up hanging out, and I don't know what we end up ordering or eating, but. For her actual birthday, I got her a couple of gifts. I got her the latest Mario Party, which was the point of her birthday party. We actually sat around and played Mario Party with her sisters, and that was great. And I got her one of those massage guns box. You know what I'm saying? That you have always been recommended to me and so forth. And she had been hearing about, and so I was like, all right, why not? And so I got her one, and she's been using it on her shins and her joints, and has been saying how miraculous it has been with her thanks, Tammy. Thanks for joining us in the chat as well. But she was saying how miraculous it has been for her rheumatoid arthritis, and I
know I'm going to sound like a drug pusher here.
Yeah.
But I saw something the other day about peptides and their ability to help people with rheumatoid arthritis. I will look for that information again and send it your way if you're so interested.
I'm down, especially if you got connects on how to possess and get a hold of these matters. Because why not? Nothing wrong with looking into it. But she's been saying how it's been very helpful when she's been having some bad days recently, and I think that's so dope, man. And like I said, it's been a good time, and I have very much enjoyed celebrating her. And I also say, like, look, man, when it gets a little warmer, we got to go kick it somewhere and just do it. She was like, maybe we can go to, because we happen to like Geneva on the Lake, and we've never actually gone to stay out there at Geneva on the Lake. You know what I'm saying? We'll go and hang out and go, do the boardwalk and stuff. But there's hotels out there and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And Airbnbs or vacation rentals and so forth. Maybe just go out there and kick it and rent something, or get a hotel or a vacation rental and just hang out there for a couple of days, and just maybe that sprinkle that on to her birthday. So I don't know, it's good. I was very happy to have celebrated that with her. It's funny, we've been together. This year will be 13 years, man, which is a wild thing to say, and especially because, like I said, also that means. So what? Have I known you for what? 14 years? No. 15 years?
You couldn't have been together for 13 years because my 13-year anniversary at work is this May.
So let's do the math.
So that would mean you guys are together about 12.
I thought this year was
13. You met her 2 months after you met me.
Yeah, okay. So 13 is this year.
But then you guys didn't start dating until the spring of the following year.
Well, no. Remember we went on it, so we met.
I mean, I guess it depends on when you consider you guys officially starting, but that's
so here's the deal. We are what we call our anniversary is the anniversary of us going to see Dark Knight Rises, which is in August of whatever year that year is. We met at Drew's birthday party, which was July 3rd.
Yeah, it would have been 2012.
Okay, so there you go. So the math is math. Basically, a year before this show took off and did production. So there you go. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. So we'll be 13. Is that right? This year, you said?
Yeah. My 13-year anniversary at work is the end of April, beginning of May.
And our 13th anniversary of season.
I played in the Magic Pro Tour in 2012 in February.
Okay.
Got fired from my last job in April. No, I got fired from my last job at the beginning of March.
Okay.
Middle of March, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And then I got hired in my current job the end of April.
Okay.
I was unemployed for about 6 to 7 weeks there.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. So the 13th anniversary of us going out to see Dark Knight Rises is as our first date is this year. But Dan is right. We didn't make it Facebook official until the following year in May, if I'm not mistaken. But we don't count that one. So it's a good life, y'all. You know what I'm saying? There will always be some tough times, but it ain't nothing terrible. I'll tell you that. So that's what's up. So there you go, man. That's your serving of tea time for this week. You know what I'm saying? Hope you enjoyed it. Let me slide back over to this video panel where each week we head to the subreddit. We head to Reddit and the subreddit, Am I the Asshole, where I have pulled a selection of Am I the Assholes. Box grabs a couple of them and says, hey, these seem like they could be a good read. We have at it. It's great. And it's a segment that exists on this show. And here, it too has its own video package. I've been playing around with the little video words recently. I might mess with that one, but I might leave good enough alone. Anyway, like I said, I pulled 3 this week. Let me slide this over here so I can make sure I'm, kind of looking at the camera as I read these. And let me click that. And Box, here is your selection this go around, sir. Am I the asshole lying to my boyfriend about playing video games? Am I the asshole for grounding my 15-year-old daughter after she colored her hair? And am I the asshole for not giving my ex back a gift I received from his great-grandmother?
Those all seem like the video game one. I'm curious about all of them, if I'm being honest.
Bruh, none of these are too ridiculous out of pocket long. So the one is, but it has some updates. So let's see if we can get in here in the mix and we'll see what we can do, y'all. Let's start with the video game one. Am I the asshole for lying to? It didn't say 4. It just says, am I the asshole lying to my boyfriend about playing video games? Taking just the title, Box.
I'm gonna say yes.
Ooh, fascinating. This is, I don't know how to pronounce their username, so I'm not going to attempt to. Backstory is when my boyfriend and I met, we both realized we like playing the same game. We agreed to play together since it's an MMORPG, and we don't want to outlevel each other.
These are like the people who fucking cyber cheat with their clan mates and shit.
My boyfriend slowly lost interest in playing, but I never did. I would ask him if he wanted to play, and more he would say no. More backstory. I've been playing this game since I was basically a kid, and I guess it's a comfort game for me. It's definitely WoW and or Final Fantasy 14, because those are the ones that have been here forever. So eventually, I just started playing without him. I made a new character so that our characters would still be the same and just played. I didn't tell him about it. I didn't tell him about this is how it's written. I didn't tell him about I did this because most of the time when I did, he would be away at work or school. School or work. When he found out, he was pretty upset at me. I didn't exactly remember the reason he gave. He told me, if you really want to play, just tell me and I will. Well, I did that, and he still didn't feel like playing. So I just started playing my other characters in secret, hiding offline, etc. I still keep the characters I played with him untouched. I just play the alt characters I made. I definitely feel guilty about it. My partner struggles with mental health issues and with trusting me because I was playing behind his back before. So I don't really blame him for it. But at the same time, I really just want to relax by playing my favorite game. I hope this made sense. I really like to hear from people who might also struggle with trust issues on this, because I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Man, I rescind my guess from the beginning of this. Like, she's gaslighting herself in the projections on this dude. Like, if you want to play the game and you don't want to play, just play the fucking game. This isn't that big of a goddamn deal. Like, if he says he'll play and then he don't, that's just him, you know, either he's lying to you just to like placate you, or like he just doesn't follow through on what he says he's going to do, which is a completely different issue.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't feel guilty for wanting to play a game that you all used to play together and you still want to play. He don't want to play. Just play.
Also,
unless you fucking a clanmate, then you should feel guilty.
But also, she whipped up a tune, not using the characters that they were playing with together. So it's not even the same. Those characters can still level together if ever he wants to play. She's just playing by herself with a different character and just having a good time. It's just, yeah, there's no way I could consider this person an asshole. I'm sorry, y'all. I just can't. And I'm looking at her boyfriend kind of sideways because, like I said, you're saying, just ask me. Well, they did ask you and you said no. So now what? Fuck out of here. Let's check out some of the comments. Not the asshole, though. For your own sake, I'd quit hiding and play openly whenever you like, leaving the joint characters unleveled and playing your solo ones. You do not need to make your life smaller to suit him. Facts.
Exactly. Don't let him steal your shine.
Oh, show. Not the asshole, but some advice. I'll go ahead and start with, if this is the only thing your relationship has trust issues about, then good for you. You seem to be in a relatively good relationship. Most people struggle with much more serious matters. Not that I'm trying to discredit you or your feelings at all on the subject. Moving on from that, I think that communication is what's most important, especially with people that have mental illness. Myself being someone who struggles with autism, Asperger's, and ADHD. We don't call it Asperger's anymore because it turns out that dude was a real Nazi. So they don't even use that turn of phrase anymore. But I'm gonna let this person walk. I would want my partner to know to let me know that they really want to keep playing the game and that I hadn't felt like they wanted to play too. I'd want my partner to bring up the fact that I don't seem interested in playing when they've asked in the past. Sometimes I don't realize my reactions to things come off as a certain way, such as seeming apathetic to something, even if that's not really the case. Your partner might be similar in that aspect. I think reaching a consensus, do you really want to play with me because I'm not burnt out on it and want to continue playing it, is important. It could very well be that your partner just wants to spend time with you or find a game you both like, but has been feeling burnt out on that certain one. True. I don't think you're the asshole for playing it behind his back, and I think people in relationships should be able to play whatever video games they want, either apart or separate. But then again, communication is important. I might suggest that you offer to find another game to play with your partner. If he still doesn't seem interested in playing that one, while you continue to play the game you like on your own time. Hope this is so. Good shit, y'all. Word up to Reddit. Of course, Reddit would have good information about good comments about video games. Because I mean, come on, it's Reddit. I'm gonna do this one because it's a wee bit shorter, and we'll save that long one for last. I'm an asshole for not giving my ex back a gift I received from his great grandmother. I, 23 female, and my ex, 22 male, have been broken up for about 3 years now. Jesus Christ, that means y'all was just both children. For context, now we had a child together in our relationship and are both currently in new relationships. His new girlfriend is pregnant with his second child. Recently, I received a message from my ex asking for a stone-carved pregnant elephant that was gifted to me by his great-grandmother 5 years back. Let's do some quick maths here. Okay. She's literally a teenager, so. His grandmother, sadly, passed away a year back, and he is currently asking for it back. I asked him firstly why he wanted it back, as it was a gift for me during my pregnancy. A bit more context. We visited his family, and his grandmother had elephants everywhere in her home. I made a comment about how beautiful her collection was, and some of them were very unique. She lit up and insisted I take one as a welcome to the family present. Oh, how sweet. I tried to politely tell her that I would feel horrible to break up her collection, but she kept insisting. At this point, I didn't want to be rude and said, okay, and walked around with her as she told me stories of how she got some of the elephants. Anyways, we stumbled upon this stone carved element with a carved out tummy with a baby inside. She heavily implied that my choice should be that specific elephant as it fits the situation perfectly, me being pregnant and being pregnant and all at the time. I smiled and accepted and thanked her for letting me carry part of her collection with me. She gave me a hug and accepted me into part of the family. My ex, who I guess got a bit jealous, wanted to pick an elephant out of his own, so he got to do so. He got to do so. Okay, there we go. Back to current day. He told me due to the passing of his grandmother, he wanted to have the elephant to put with a gift he got his great grandfather so that they could both be together. When I asked him why he specifically wanted mine, he kept dodging the question and said it belonged to his grandmother, and it being a gift from her to me held no value. I don't know why he would think that. Okay. I reminded him that he got to choose his own that day. He dodged that too, calling me selfish and a lowlife. Part of me is more than willing to give it back to him, but part of me knows that he's going to gift this elephant to his new girlfriend because of her new pregnancy. I say this because I know his narcissistic and manipulative personality. Why would he ask me now and not a year ago upon her passing? Am I the asshole? Update: I looked up the price of the elephant online. It's made from jade and have seen some sold for $200 to $400 online. So money might be a key factor in him wanting it back. Is this person an asshole for keeping a gift that they were gifted?
No, and like clearly she has some personal attachment to it, so it's not like, you know, she's like being spiteful. Like, she literally had a beautiful moment with this woman.
Yeah. And
she kind of treasures it, even though she, you know, is no longer with that dude. That shit still means something to her. So fucking no, like, she's not an asshole.
No, in no way, shape, or form could you be an asshole in this situation. Yeah, yo, ex. Anyway, not about him. To ask the question you asked was, you're the asshole, and ma'am, you are not. Not the asshole. That elephant was a gift to honor your pregnancy and a lovely family heirloom that can be passed down to your child from their great-great-grandmother. Oh, yeah, that's right, because, of course, that's still there. You know, that was their great-great-grandmother, their kid's great-great-grandmother, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even consider that. Let's see. Scroll. Not the asshole. It was a gift to you when you became a part of the family. No matter what with him moving on with his life, you will always be a part of that family in some capacity as his child's mother. I would say it was different if it was something for him in a situation where it was the only thing of hers he would have. But even then, it wouldn't be something you had to do. Just a nice gesture. Facts. You get folk, man. And again, someday maybe she can hand that to her kid and be like, your great-great-grandma gave this to me when I was pregnant, and I'd like to give it to you in your situation. So whatever that is.
Yeah, there's a beautiful sentiment to it.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Like I said, this one is wild. Let me look at the clock here. We're okay. We're doing actually real fine on time. I'm an asshole for grounding my 15-year-old daughter after she colored her hair. Just that, taking just that box.
See, I struggle with this one. And I struggle with it probably because I'm not a parent.
Okay.
But, like, I feel like at that age, I want to know what they were doing before they did it so that we could talk about it rather than them doing it behind my back and then me finding out after the fact. And it's not even that I necessarily want to be against it, but I mostly want to make sure, one, they're doing something safe and not something stupid, and two, that they're absolutely sure.
Sir, that's all logical, and I don't know if that has that's perfect. Parent or no parent, that's good shit. So don't doubt yourself on that one. That truly is how this should be. Let's see how this plays out. As a disclaimer, I have nothing against colored hair or people who choose to color their hair. My hair was bright green as a teenager, LOL. My daughter, Alexis, not her real name, is 15. She has been dancing recreationally since she was 3 years old and has been doing competitive dance since she was 9. She has nationals coming up, which is basically a very big and important dance competition where studios from surrounding states come to this big convention center in the city and compete. She is also obsessed with Paramore, thanks to my husband, who has taken her to many of their live shows. She idolizes Hayley Williams and has wanted to dye her hair like Hayley's for a few years now. This year, for her birthday, she wants to dye her whole head neon orange. I told her absolutely not, because she's not allowed to hair any unnatural. This is what this says. I know she means have, but as written, she's not allowed to hair any unnatural hair colors for nationals and the other conventions / comps that are coming up. She's very well aware of this rule because it's the standard in the competitive dance world. I've already paid all of the entry fees and cannot get a refund for this year. I told her that once nationals and all the mandatory conventions are over, she can color her hair however she wants. She did not like this answer and stomped off to her room. I figured I would just let her be, and eventually she would come around. I was wrong. She went to a sleepover at her friend's house about a week ago and came back with the same bright orange hair I told her she could not have. I was cooking when she walked into the house, and I nearly dropped the knife I was using. I was extremely upset and asked her what was she thinking. She gave me some excuse, which I can't remember, then rolled her eyes and said something along the lines of, "It's just hair dye. It'll come out before nationals." I was livid and shouted at her, which I'll admit I'm not proud of, and she ran off to her room in tears. She knows better, and I'm completely dumbfounded as to why she thought it would be okay considering nationals is in 2 weeks. She washed her hair at least 6 times in the last few days, and the orange is still stuck. I brought color remover and let it sit on her hair for a good 2 hours and nothing. I'm so pissed because now I'm going to have to take her to the salon and spend $300+ to get her hair to get this color removed when I'm already over $400 deep in the hole after the fees for the competition. My daughter is currently grounded, still upset with me, and hasn't spoken more than a few words to me in days. She cried to my husband after I shouted at her, and now he thinks I'm being unreasonable and called me Momzilla. Fuck your husband, but I'll get around to that. Am I being crazy about this? She knew the rules, and I even told her she could do the hair dye after we got through over this. If the color doesn't come out, she literally won't be able to compete, and I'll have wasted over $400. Edit. Looking at some of the comments, I just want to clarify that when I asked Alexis if she wanted to compete, she was very enthusiastic and told me yes. She has done nationals every year for a few years now and has loved it every time she has done it. I'm very clear with her that since it's optional, she has the choice whether or not she wants to still participate. And I'm not forcing her in any way to do it. I'm upset because she told me she wanted to do it. I paid the fees and now can't back out of it. And she will, and also she will not be able to compete if the orange doesn't come out. So that's the original. Now there's some updates, but taking just that, now what do you think?
Yeah, I don't feel like she's being an asshole. Like, she was very clear and reasonable about it all. And then the daughter went in behind her back and did something she wasn't supposed to do. Now she's gaslighting the mom, playing the victim.
You know I love being a dad. Sometimes kids be on some bullshit, my nigga. Bullshit. And this right here is an example of it. Like, you know what it is, and you still gonna do it. Get the fuck out of here, man. Update. Hello, all. Thanks for your insight. I was really thinking about it last night and realized shouting at her and grounding her was not an adult way of handling things. Disagree. Gotta disagree, on boy. I gotta disagree. I apologized to her, and we sat down for breakfast this morning and had a heart-to-heart conversation in which we discussed the options she currently has. I calmly explained to her why what she did upset me and why I reacted the way I did. She apologized to me for going behind my back after I put a boundary in place. For those saying it's not a big deal and it's just hair, you're right, it is just hair. It's not the orange hair that actually upsets me. It's the fact she did it after I told her to wait because of the money I'd spent so she could be able to compete. I also asked her if being on the competitive team / doing dance in general is still something she truly wants to do, as some of you suggested. She opened up to me and said that while she loves it, she's exhausted and mentally drained during competition season and after. Part of the reason why she did the orange hair was because she thought she could get out of this one thing. There's still a lot of ground to cover and other things that need to be figured out. But I told her she does not have to compete anymore if she doesn't want to, and can just take her regular classes. She is still going to do nationals, and everything after that is up to her. Also, for those saying I am limiting her freedom of self-expression and trying to control what she does with her body, just no. Not once have I ever tried to force my opinions or values onto her because it's what I think is morally correct. I'm an avid supporter of her expressing herself however she wants, whether it be done through her style, her hair, the music she listens to, etc. I will support her through every stage in her life, no matter what she aligns herself with. I'm not against the orange hair. I'm all for it, just not right at this very moment. In no way do I want to prohibit her creativity or self-expression. I set boundaries for her with a compromise which I expect her to follow through with. For one mother too, I'm sure many others that have seen this, how can we expect our kids to grow up to be well-rounded adults if we don't set boundaries for them and occasionally limitations? Alexis is ungrounded, but not out of trouble. Her and I are going to brainstorm different, more fitting ways for her to learn from this. She's going to pay for a wig with the money she's earning from babysitting her cousins. I texted her dance instructor and let her know what we are doing. So the approval of her wearing the wig to the competition to be determined until it arrives. If not, she will be responsible for finding out another way to cover up the orange. For those who suggested box dye, putting box dye on my daughter's hair will be the absolute last resort. I understand that she needs a fitting punishment, and having to live with the muddy hair color from putting it over the orange will probably fit the crime. But I do not want her to be miserable for any unnecessarily extended period of time after the dance league is over. And after the situation has been dwelled on enough, Alexis doesn't want to put box dye on her hair either. But she said if she has no other choice, she's okay with that. I told her that if we do end up having to put box color over it, that she's going to have to live with it until it grows out enough to cut it off, or she'll have to pay for color correcting service. So there you go. This family has come to terms. But we have one glow in the dark comment here that says, not the asshole. Honestly, I would just leave it. Take her to nationals, and when they tell her she can't compete because of her hair, she can look the consequences of her actions in the eye. And then she can pay you back the $400 she wasted by not waiting a few weeks. She's plenty old enough to know that she made a mistake. That's if she wants to compete. Maybe she was trying to get out of it without telling you. I say this as someone who's been dyeing their hair fashion colors since they were 15. I fully support self-expression, but you have to time it right if you have events like this. Which is perfectly right. And that's the same thing me and Box were just saying. It's like, come on, bro. You gotta stand by the rules. But that's this week's Am I the Assholes. He hadn't done 3 in a while, y'all. So, but they were I hit 3 decent ones. So I'm saying, so we got it down with the get down. Hope you enjoyed them. Each week we pull them. If you think you got one for us, or that you think we would enjoy, or you just want to hear our voices read it, holler at us. We're definitely down to get down with the get down on that. You're on the downward slope now. Again, if this is your first episode, here's where we start heading on out to passion. And this part is we just talk about what we've been entertained by this week: video games, books, movies, podcasts, whatever, and so forth and so on. Boxman, what has been your entertainment this week?
I watched the 2nd season of Squid Games. I watched I don't even know. I think it's the 2nd part of the last season of Cobra Kai, which there's a 3rd part coming. So yeah, it's not over yet, quite yet, but I'm current. Yeah, basketball, football. I don't remember where I was at on Bosch Legacy last time we talked, but I finished that, so I'm waiting on the last season of that to come.
Yeah.
Um,
You did share that with us.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since we met, so I thinking about watching the third season of Resident Alien while I'm working tomorrow, so that might happen.
Fair. Oh my gosh. Any games? Just Call of Duty?
Call of Duty.
Okay. No more Marvel Rivals?
No, like my friends have been pretty consistent with playing Call of Duty. Like there's usually at least someone around, so I've been playing a lot of multiplayer.
Fair. Good to see you out in these streets. I watched Wicked again. I really love that movie and the songs that accompany it. It got nominated for multiple Academy Awards this very day, which was pretty dope to have happen, including Best Actress nom for Cynthia Erivo, Best Supporting Actress for Ariana Grande, Best Editing, Best Score, Hair and Makeup, Design. I think is what when they say that, I think they mean sets and stuff like that there. So lots of noms for that movie in that regard. It's pretty exciting for that. Also went back to watch the Music Box Yacht Rock, a doc, as in a boat documentary, and it really is great, y'all. That is it's on Max, and I highly recommend it if you are a fan of Yacht Rock. I am a fan of Yacht Rock, and it's a very, very, very good documentary. You have several stars of Yacht Rock: Kenny Loggins, Michael McDonald, Christopher Cross, the guys from Toto. Lots of guys from that era of music come and sit and discuss their careers and their musicality and how they got into it. They try to get the guy from Steely Dan, Donald Fagen, to talk about it, but Donald Fagen apparently is offended by the term yacht rock. And when they played the phone call they had when they were trying to get him to talk about it, and his response, he goes, "Well, fuck off." And that's I was like, "Damn, Donald Fagen, I get that you don't want to be described as yacht rock, but it's not a bad thing." They also talked to the guys who coined the term yacht rock, which is actually a relatively recent term, and a term from the last 20 years, honestly, which is crazy, but that is the case. And really, really, really good. I would, if you like musical documentaries in general, I would tell you to watch it. But also, if you get down with some yacht rock, definitely worth the watch. And my yacht rock list grew by a few songs as I watched that documentary. I have a yacht rock playlist that I named A Little Yachty, Little Yachty, and so it's a fun little playlist of yacht rock joints, and very much enjoy it. And hey, maybe you would too. I beat Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Finally wrapped that game up, and just in the nick of time as Xbox had an event today and announced some games that are coming real soon, and including a stealth drop of Ninja Gaiden 2, which was a Xbox 360 game. They did a remake in Unreal Engine, and that is, I was trying to download it on my Xbox via the app, but I don't know if it went through. But we shall see. Let's see. In fact, yeah. Because it'll yell at me. It'll be like, oh yeah, that bad boy is has downloaded. It says I can launch on the Xbox, so that's dope. So I'm excited. I'm probably gonna play the Ninja Gaiden 2 Black remake on the Xbox here. Maybe I'll play a little bit tonight. Maybe we'll see. I have been listening to, of course, Kendrick Lamar's GNX. Still, I've been also listening to SZA's. The SZA Kendrick joint on her extended. I think it's called Lana. Is the name of that album. 30 for 30 is the name of the song that they have together on there. I, of course, still am listening to the Wicked soundtrack. But also, I've been speaking of Paramore, oddly enough, been listening to their track "Ain't It Fun," which is just because it's been all over TikTok, and I was like, that track go hard. That song's from 2013, but that song goes hard. Paramore, "Ain't It Fun," a banging ass track, y'all. And of course, the Roots first studio LP, "Do You Want More," was released 30 years ago the other day, so I pulled that one out off the shelf. Can I swing this camera in a way that you can see it? Yeah, you see those two records right there next to Pluto's butt? That is my 2 copies of Do You Want More? There's one on the turntable right there, and of course, I take pictures of stuff like that and so forth, and share it on the internet in the hip hop vinyl group. In fact, again, this is again why you should be watching the show, because I can easily just head over to the Reddit and show you this. Give me a second. I think I already saved all the I'm an asshole, so I can just jump over to hip hop vinyl. Actually, I can just go to my profile on Reddit and find my post. Pop. 11. And again, look at how easy that is. I can just share my screen with you. And again, that is the deluxe 3 or 4 record of one right here. This thicker guy right here. And that's my 2-disc one on blue vinyl right there on my turntable. If you ever wonder what's going on with my record collection, that's kind of a general look at it. Also, that's my Lego turntable that I got for Christmas that I told you guys I built. So it's a part of my collection of records and stuff like that there. That's how it gets down with the get down over there. People will see that in the hip hop vinyl subreddit and be like, yo, what's going on with your collection? What you got over there? I got a lot going on over there, y'all. It's a lot of records. So that's how that moves and grooves. But that is what I have been listening to. Pull my notes back up. Sorry, y'all. And nope, push the wrong button. There we go. But yeah, let's head on out to pasture here, man. You know what it is. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever possible. Basically, I just want you guys to subscribe just on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts if you're so inclined. But those other 2 are just a little more universal. You can get that everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So if you'd be so kind, that'd be mighty great of you. If you want to support the show financially and have a few bucks stars our way, consider joining us over at Patreon, where we're at the $5 tier, get extra content each month and early access to new shows. We also got merch over at tpublic.com/user stays crunchy and milk. It's all one word, and Krunchy is spelled with a K. Feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you, and hear from you we have. First up, an email from the homeboy, Dr. Moxford Labitsky, Esquire. And the subject is Moxford update. Salutations, gentlemen. A while back, I submitted Emma the Asshole about my immediate family taking a trip out of state instead of attending the traditional family dinner for Thanksgiving. Now that we're past the new year, things have changed a bit. My brother, who was up in arms about my family not being there for Thanksgiving, spent Christmas morning with his partner and her family instead of the traditional family breakfast. I wonder if that gave him some insight that partners, families, and relationships require compromise. To address T, I know I was the asshole-ish for posting that Emma the Asshole, but the Stays Crunchy crew to me is the foremost authority, and I really need an impartial opinion on it. The trip to Tennessee was decent. Did some fun sightseeing. The only real downside was that we didn't make it to Dollywood, and that was one of our main reasons for going down. Thank you guys for the time and your opinions on my situation. Also, special thanks for your time and efforts that get put into the show. It quickly became a favorite of mine and is on my weekly listen list. Thank you again, and keep up the great work. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Dr. Moxford Labitsky. That's not his real name. I finally got his real name in that his email tells me his actual name. But as you know, he is Dr. Montford Labitsky Esquire, and don't say nothing else about it. That's what it is. All right. Word up, Moxford. Thank you for that. Over on Spotify, April hit us up and said, I had to go back and watch Lunch name the states. Since I'm from Kansas, I know the states around it. You did well, Lunch. Thumbs up. From YouTube, Tammy, who was in the chat earlier and may still be in the chat. Tammy, if you are, hey, and if you've gone, no worries. Thanks for joining us when you did. Tammy again, sorry for the timestamp comment confusion on the previous episode. I was just referring to Lunch mentioning his monitor setup in case someone was curious as to where he was looking on the video. Hope that clears up any confusion. Tammy, you were good to go. Don't worry about it, girl. We was just being whatever we was. And this one, it's from the homie Nick Jude, but also I made a video for it because it's fun. So here you go. You get a video. And the video is not really video, and it's more listen to this one, but it has a video to go with it. Check for one. Here we go.
Hello, SkimPod. It is Nick June. I'm trying a thing where I send y'all a voice note to see if you get it, since Apple stopped being a player hater and gave us easier access to send voice notes to non-Apple users. I was so geeked to hear T open up my box on the air, insert Google there. The store is a Japanese market, Teso market. They have them in other places, but this was the first one to come to the area. And my niece did a semester study in Japan and learned some Japanese. So while she was here visiting, I thought it would be fun to take her there, and she helped me pick out some of the things. Also, on the taking the 2 weeks off between Christmas and the New Year, our company used to shut down, quote unquote, for that time. Certain people still had to work, but certain people didn't. In the first few years, I worked during that time because there really wasn't anything going on. But now, for the last probably 10 to 12 years, I pretty much am always off for those 2 weeks, and I got to tell you, it is wonderful. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Shout out to Aunt and the new baby, and peace to y'all.
There you go, Nick. I made your whole video. And then I literally just texted you a little bit of it. So you can see the video. You're not gonna be able to hear it because of course it was playing through the system we used to make the show. But that was our feedback for the week, and that was our show for the this go around, y'all. Thank you for joining us. So stay Krunchy Milk. We do it when we want to do it now. It's not like we don't try to do it every week, but like Box can't do it next week, so I might not do it next week, or I might get a guest to do it next week. Who knows? We'll see how it plays out. So that's what's popping with that. But our mission man is the 216 zone, Tatum 216. I just chatted with him a little bit on text message. Was it last night or was that today? That was today. And so he's doing okay, y'all. Worry not. That is, of course, also the 216 zone. It's Lunchbox 2099.
In the podcast.
Facts. I am your host, the Internet's Table. I'm just one of your hosts. I don't want to die. If I say just the host, it feels like I'm just saying none of this shit happens without the rest of them. So I simply am the Internet's Table 713. Don't make me push you into traffic. We'll do it again next time. Peace.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.